to being kited about pretty easily, but not a very kite-heavy team on Virtus Pro. Not the biggest of slows, more of just kind of they lock them in place a bit with your Bloodseeker. You do risk coming back and do an easy Blood Right. We'll have to see, though. If it's anything like Silent has shown, if you're persistent and you find your farm, there's just no stopping your Majesty. He just ends up running in there and slashing it down with the most ridiculous crits you've ever seen in your goddamn life.
Yeah, he kind of reminds me of Sven in terms of power curve, where very early on, the first 6 levels or so, he's great in the lane. You've got a really powerful stun. In the case of Wraith King, a stun with a tapering slow, so it allows you to chase people down, find some kills, set up with your supports. It's that mid-game window that's a little bit rough. When he doesn't really have that many core items yet, he's got maybe a Blade Mail, maybe a Blink Dagger, but still not really that tanky, still having some mana issues. And then if he gets that space for the mid-game, you get 30 minutes plus, he has 2, 3, 4 big core items. That's when the Wraith King is, how do we kill him once, let alone kill him twice when he comes back to life, when he's critting everybody for near 1k every time a critical strike comes out. We'll see. It's going to be a tough mid-game, I think, for Vega, suffice it to say. Even though they have the Wraithfire Blast now, they're still really lacking on control when it comes to these team fights. And for VP with a Bounty Hunter or the Bloodseeker, this game could really ball out of control. If they have a decent laning stage, I think the mid-game will be super easy. A lot of that depends on FNG, though. He will be the support, taking the Bounty Hunter, has a couple of Sentry Wards, early Orb of Venom, and he's just scouting around this enemy jungle, so it seems he will be that roaming support, and the Earthshaker will be off lane right now, taken by DK Phobos.
Now, Dazzle has some sentries. Sometimes you see teams who go against the Bounty Hunter just put down an early anticipated sentry, knowing that the Bounty Hunter is going to be in the area roaming, and you can quickly turn around and get a fast first blood, but they're not going to utilize it that way. But Vega still nonetheless have plenty of protection to work with. The 2 sentries plus the dust. But look at this catch out top lane. Beautiful block coming out. Puts Illidan in a bit of a rut here. They get off good damage early. He's going to be forced to either run back to base or delve into some early regen. And they get the concussive shot. The slow is there. Are they going to fall through with anything? They're not. Vega decide instead to double back, and they're just happy with dishing out that big burst of damage. And look at a salve is already going to have to be used as well. Illidan's going to be heading to lane with the Pro-Man Shield, 3 tangos, and Lil only just the 2 tangos. So, you know, it doesn't seem like crazy because it's not a first blood, but that could end up having dividends later into the early laning phase. But without that said, let's go ahead and hop in. This is game 2 of a best of 3. Vega going against Virtus Pro. Introductions on the side of Radiant. Vega, you got Mag, who's going to be repping Tusk again, this time in the top lane, getting zoned back in his off lane position. There's the pullback. FNG's already en route. He could be in trouble. Big first strike. That's an Orb of Venom and a first blood for FNG. Doesn't take too long to get that one rolling. And unfortunately for Vega, it's going to be a bit on the back side of things just to lead things out. Finishing out the roll call, though, we got no one going to be playing your Shadow Fiend mid lane, along with Siva the Slayer on the Dazzle, and that means bottom. We have Solo on your Skywrath Mage, and Ninepash is going to be playing your Wraith King.
All right, Dire side VP. We've already talked about Phobos in the off lane on the Earthshaker. G goes mid on the Quap, and they'll have a safe lane try, at least for now. FNG roaming around on that Bounty Hunter. Rubik here being played by Lil, and last but not least, Illidan on this Bloodseeker. And even though he had to chew through that salve early on, I'd say well worth it, given that VP did secure both of those Bounty runes early on. One went to the Quap, and the other actually to the Bounty Hunter. So, or, pardon me, Bloodseeker. God, Bloodseeker and Bounty Hunter on the same team. I always transpose those two. It's going to be a tough game here, Dakota. FNG, though, man, this guy is just unrelenting. Seema the Slayer trying to get some stacks going for his Shadow Fiend, but FNG going to make his life a little more difficult here. Gets the Dazzle reasonably low. There's a shallow grave. Knows he shouldn't go for a kill here. As I'm blathering about that, we'll see Phobos get dove down bottom, but Pasha gets turned around on. It's a 1-for-1. Wraith King still finding the advantage in the trade, but not bad for the Earthshaker. And meanwhile, Tusk dies in the top lane.
It just figures.
So,
I hate these games are always like that. Just they're breaking up fight elsewhere, we move in, but that's the power of the Bloodseeker. One fight breaks out on the other side of the world, that's only going to make him stronger with that thirst. So Mag, that's where you really get tested as far as your global presence to know, oh, there's a fight breaking out here. Be trouble in your lane because that Bloodseeker is going to take advantage of it and just make the jump onto you, and that's pretty much exactly what happens, and they're going to continue to dive here. Muscling Mag out from this lane. They're going to get the pullback. Look at the damage already coming out. He's going to be forced to snowball up. Meanwhile, Shadow Fiend goes down elsewhere, but we keep everything locked and loaded here. Will Mag make it out alive? No. Gets chopped on the ass. Your Tusk goes down, and we're already 6 kills into a 3-minute game.
All right, so mid lane, looks like the Shadow Fiend went down. Quap actually tried to man up on him right when he TP'd back to the lane. Dazzle was there. He hit him with a heal bomb. The Quap was forced back, and it looked like, when I glanced at the minimap, that Seema just wasn't quite close enough to support the Shadow Fiend as much as he wanted to, as G has been a bit of a bully in this lane, doing the classic 2-on-2, so that dagger has some additional potency to it. FNG rotating down bottom. Uh-oh, he gets dusted here, hit by the concussive Wraithfire Blast. That Bounty Hunter will get juiced. Solo getting credit for that kill on the bottom.
Oh, mid lane though.
Back to the mid. G and no one.
You said he's being a bit of a bully. He's being a hard ass this lane. Just like 18 and 6 CS. Shadow Fiend is 4 and 2. No one is having a terrible time. He already had to make one long walk of shame back to base. He's already hit down pretty low with no regen. He's like, Seema, please heal me up. Come on, buddy. Someone get here. Help me out. Solo shows up now, and G's able to, easily to hop away from trouble. This is a Queen of Paint clinic happening, and this is part of the reason we see her banned so goddamn much. But Solo, look at this relentless force to keep this Queen of Paint back and away. But she does have a bottle. She heals up, jumps in, gets off a scream and a Shadow Strike, but there's not going to be enough of a follow-up there. Plus, you have Seema with a Shallow Grave ready to go. They decide to just go elsewhere.
Well, this is a disastrous start for Vega Squadron. You got the top lane where Tusk is certainly the underdog. Level 3, but still not a single last hit. Bloodseeker topping the charts. He's already died 3 times. So that's a victory for the Dire side. You look mid. We talked about the CS chart here, and no one has recovered a little bit, now finding 11 last hits, but pretty far behind the Quap and also taking a couple of tumbles already. Still not too much in that inventory. So that leaves us with this bottom lane where Phobos is doing okay. Of course, the Wraith King is getting a lot of farm, but can he find a kill on Phobos? No, we're going to go back towards the mid lane where no one's getting dove. Sonic Wave. Nice clean kill there for the one and only God, as the tier 1 tower in the top also falls in favor of Virtus Pro. So there are just victories all over the place. Even though this Wraith King is farming, the Earthshaker's still getting a lot of experience. Tranquil Boots, already a Sage's Mask, that Soul Ring on the way. It's a 4,000 net worth lead at the 5-minute mark.
Yeah, this Virtus Pro play is already reminding me bits of when we saw Vici Gaming able to string together some good wins back at the Summit 3, when you had FY God playing this Bounty Hunter, just so mobile all over the place, making action happen, and there doesn't seem to be a response right now from Vega. Later in that tournament in Summit 3, teams were able to throw together, they got the detection, and they kind of kept FY in check, but I don't know if Vega are going to be prepared to do the same at this point. He is constantly on the move, and as long as you're in the dark, you keep your opponent guessing. You keep them kind of, nervous as far as where you can freely farm. Bottom lane, we haven't talked much about 9 Pash, your Wraith King, almost level 6. Looks so delicious having such low life and not being able to have the second turnaround resurrection, but it looks like he's able to get there scot-free. No one really there to impose their will, but he is going to have a lot of weight on his shoulders this game if it continues to go like this.
Oh, yeah. He is the only one that's farming decently here. And even though the Shadow Fiend, you look at the last hit chart and you go, well, it's getting better. 23 compared to the 31 of Quap. And then you look at net worth, and Quap is number 1 past the 3K mark. Shadow Fiend literally half at about 1,600. He's forced to walk back to the well once more. Brown boots and bottle, but this Shadow Fiend's not going to be carrying much in the near future. And very curious to see how this Wraith King itemizes. He did not go for the Hand of Midas, which I thought he may here, given that he's had so much space in lane. He could have gotten it pretty timely and used that to kind of propel them into the mid game, but just stops off for Power Treads, Magic Wand, and we'll keep things pretty steady here. Just a Bracer on the way out, so possibly even Drum of Endurance for some nice early skirmish ability. FNG off to a sort of a slow start. We've seen his presence, but down bottom. Phobos, he's gonna get dove. He's dead.
He's boom, dead. Yeah, that's a long and painful death, but they get it. G rotates in, going to get welcomed with the stun. Soul decides to move forward, gets off a bit of nuke damage. It may have been a slow start, you said, for, I believe it was FNG, but poor Mag,
FNG,
man.
yeah.
Yet to get a CS.
Courier
might get one here in the mid lane, but FNG gets the snipe right there. Part of the reason it rubbed off on me. I almost said Bloodseeker for Bounty Hunter. Bounty Hunter, you got that Janata. It makes it so easy to snipe Couriers. He only has it level 1, but it's enough to just make it a 2-hit strike. Courier goes down. Bounty Hunter happy about that. Tusk, happy to finally get some CS, gets 4 now, trying to get level 4 at nearly 8 minutes in. It's a slow-paced start for your Snowball hero.
Yep, no cargo on the courier, but still a nice little boon there for the Dire side, putting them above that 5K net worth lead. We see Lil getting some space in the safe lane for the Dire. That means Rubik is level 6, and look at his, oh my, 1,900 gold on this Rubik. Lil's going to have a 10-minute Blink Dagger at this rate. That is disgusting and scary. A Rubik with that kind of mobility this early on can really do a lot of work.
It's pretty crazy that this support's able to kind of do as he pleases here. It's very apparent Mag had been muscled out from this lane, and Virtus.pro could just do it as they please. Illidan's happy to move in the jungle, find his farm there, and allow these. Okay, mid lane. I saw the back end of that fissure line up, and then, of course, the Sonic Wave is what just kind of gets him down. Beautiful alley-oop play coming in from
The sad part
Phobos.
there, Dazzle's not even far away. I mean, Seema was nearby in his head, like, okay, if Shadow Fiend gets jumped on, I'll be nearby and I can graze him. He even has a level 2 shallow grave for that extended range, but just couldn't get there in time to turn it around. Now in the bottom lane, they'll react to this Wraith King. It's a 4-on-1. He has the ultimate, plenty of mana to spare, but I don't see him living a second time this go around. It's actually all 5 heroes that have rotated down just to make sure Pasha knows that he is the target, and they will bring him down. That is some serious hate for the Wraith King.
This is Virtus.pro playing very, very well. Vega, Vega, a solid team. We got to remember, back at, TI5 Qual, they made it all the way to the second runner-up, only coming up short against Na'Vi there at the end, but they played some wonderful Dota, and Virtus.pro making him look like this is a Tier 2, Tier 3 team at the way this game is going right now. They are getting everything they could ask for. The supports are stacked to high hell. Lil's already got that Blink Dagger we were mentioning before. You're looking over to Illidan. He's farming up ancient camps. He got a great time Midas. He's going to build on top of that, but doesn't have to worry about it because the rest of his team is just doing all the legwork in the early game. FNG on his bounty hunter gets the courier snipe. We've had 2 back-to-back beautiful setups from Phobos. One in the mid lane with the fissure and then the Sonic Wave. Then on the bottom to trap out the Wraith King. So they're getting everything they could ask for. With Didi here on FNG on the prowl. Going to be coming up short as far as detecting out the Dazzle. Goes in Viz. Stunts there. They stole it. Blink in. How about a little bit of your own medicine there, His Majesty? Bow before us. They get the kill. Telekinesis is going to help secure it. And it just doesn't stop here from Virtus.pro. 9-3 now, and they're happy to trade if Vega want to dance.
Yep. Lil, he definitely wants to tango here. He's brought his tap shoes, showing off that Blink Dagger. Wants to catch Solo. Phobos comes in with a fissure. Will connect. Now G's here to join the party. Heal from the Dazzle. Out comes the Grave. Solo will live and just TP home. Any way to interrupt it? Nope, not quite. Just a pick on the Wraith King, but we talked about it. He was the one core that was farming well for this Radiant side. Now that he's been knocked down a couple rungs, his farm not looking so impressive. He's about leveled out with the Shadow Fiend, which is even with the Rubik. I feel like that statement alone pretty much summarizes how this game has been going for Vega.
Oh, Dazzle gets wards.
Good night, Dazzle.
Gets killed. It's like, I got some wards. Dead. And now no one. Hoping to get a catch onto G for some redemption in the struggling laning phase. But Phobos on the way out. Big Echo Slam. Now Wraith King able to get the catch up on the G. Your Queen of Pain is going to go down. But on the other side, Phobos could be the next target. Long arcane ball. Boop. Boop on the back of the head is going to get the kill. Solo grabbing that one. He's on a killing spree. For your Skywrath mage, maybe we shouldn't have talked down Vega too soon. They are slowly inching their way back. 5 to 10 though. Still have a hill to climb, but it's a start.
Yeah, about a 1,700 net worth gain there for Vega, so definitely nothing to scoff at, but I think that's really a product of Virtus.pro getting a little bit cocky, just diving behind those towers and not quite prepared for all 5 of Vega to be there in one concrete unit. But there is another issue here for Vega. It's FNG. He's now level 6, has his Arcane Boot, so this has been the lead for Virtus.pro before track kills. Now up to about 7,500 net worth, 5,000 XP. Yeah, track kills will now become a reality as he gets more points in the Shuriken toss as well. We'll see that thing just flying around on all the track targets. And right away, VP grouping up his 5. They want to continue this team fight, and they will do just that. Tier 1 tower in the bottom lane, pretty low. There is a glyph for the Radiant side, but they are going to bring the pain.
He has Arcane Boots, and he's just going to arc-click everything. Solo, immediately bop. That was a killing spree bounty.
That's a track kill.
Drop of a hat, and a free track kill. And now no one moves in, gets a good Requiem. G able to blink away from trouble. FNG though not so lucky. Got to get uppercutted. Will end up going down. Turns it into a 1-for-1 trade. Did your Skywrath Mage buy back for that one? He certainly did. Very anxious to get back into the fray will end up just kind of making it a square even fight. Maybe looking for a follow-up on this tier 1 in the bottom lane. Long stun. Going to be disjointed there from Lil with the blink. But all the meanwhile, Illidan just farms up the Vega Woods. Now, they are converging. He will have a TP, though, so he makes it out in a way.
Drums now out on the Wraith King. It was an awkward way for VP to take that fight. The first pick was really good, and maybe they weren't expecting the buyback, but you should certainly expect some kind of detection to deal with this bounty hunter who's been so active. We'll hold that thought, though, as down bottom, Phobos gets initiated on, but the Wraith King maybe regretting his choice as there's a big reaction. Grave comes out just in the nick of time. He'll try to TP home, but Lil right there with a stolen Wraithfire Blast to interrupt it. Now he will fall, and can they get him again? Nope, they'll just let him walk away. But that's a level 1 reincarnation, so it will be on cooldown for pretty girthy duration there.
Yeah, something like that. Well, feels like a week, you know, when you're just only got level 1, so you really don't want to be taking shots like that. Virtus Pro don't even need to pursue. They know the next time they catch out 9pash that, you know, he ain't going to be coming back. And that also gets in the head of 9pash. You know, you can't overextend. You can't feel as comfortable about farming on your own. You need to make sure you have a buddy by your side or have the ward vision to know that you're going to be in the clear. So with that, he steps back, gets up a chainmail. It looks like for now, this could be the blade mail buildup for your Wraith King, but they're tier 1. Potential to go down. Glyph is there, but the rotating in. Here comes your snowball. DK Phobos waits with the Fissure, gets a connection. There's already the Falcon Punch, and they get the kill. Queen of Pain is going to be taken down, and they get the deny. So, bit of a boost there for Vega.
Oh, man.
It's still creeping into a way for them to get back into action. Now, there is still a lot of farm happening elsewhere. Virtus Pro, they have their own jungle, mid lane, and FNG on the prowl here, but we got to start seeing some track kills from Virtus Pro.
Yeah, I feel like this net worth chart that I have here is a little bit misleading. You see the cores on the Radiant side starting to catch up to the cores on the Dire side. That disparity is closing, but the lead is not closing here. Virtus Pro holding steady and actually still growing in terms of net worth gain, and that's because of the supports. Bottom 3 on the net worth chart are all from Vega. Their 2 supports and their offlaner, and that's where VP are really finding a lead here. Oh god, FNG, he gets stunned up. They dust him. They know that there's a third person there for the War Stomp to come out, and they dust. That is a Saboteur Centaur right there. He also had a Sentry Ward down, but still, that is very, very nice.
No, I mean, you're just kind of idling doing neutrals, and that's all it takes is the stun and the, wait a minute, someone's here. Oh, wait, we see them. Wait, pop the dust, go, and get the kill. Yeah. They probably would have gotten the whole thing with just the sentry, but yeah, just to make sure they get the extra bit of slow and unfortunate placement there for FNG. But he gets that bit of intel to know that maybe not everywhere is safe, and he might have to play just a touch more reserve. But he's already on the prowl again. Eyes towards bottom lane. 9pash still needs 2 minutes before he'll have that resurrection. We'll see if Virtus Pro look to capitalize on it or not. And it looks like they could be. They're already heading south.
Yep, I think VP definitely can tighten up here. They're taking these fights very, oh, there's 2 of us, let's see if we can gank one, and Vega are responding very well. See, again, FNG comes down solo, hiding in the tree line. Fissure comes out, and the rest of his team starts to react straight away. What was a 2v2, now it's a 3v4, as a lot of heroes rotate around. The problem here, though, is that VP are just splitting the map. There's always someone farming in one of the side lanes, always someone farming in the jungle, and Vega, they're forced to rotate 4, sometimes 5 of their heroes just to deal with this pressure. So I think VP is okay with the minor losses they've suffered, given that their cores are all farming very nicely still. Looks like Bloodseeker probably going for the fast BKB, and G very close now to his Orchid, which might actually even be on the way here. Yep, there it is. So BKB completed on the Bloodseeker and Orchid on the Clop. 2 huge items that'll make this mid-game now a lot easier for the Dire side.
Oh, top lane, though. They get Lil. Nice quick catch. Set up with, of course, your Mystic Flare, and they're going to get a support pick. So easy peasy there for Vega. And I got to say, maybe it's a weird spectator bug, but apparently, if you look at the vision for Virtus Pro, even when they track up someone on the other team, you don't get vision of them in the dark. Or at least we can't see the extra vision they get from track. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but the past couple of times I kind of looked at their perspective to see how many tracks they have out there, how many people they can see running around the dark, but I guess we don't get the luxury of getting that information. So, oh well, that's a bit
kind of weird.
Volvo, please.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure track gives you a vision there. That's kind of the point, but interesting. Well, Things slowing down a little bit here. Both sides sitting on their respective corners of the map and just continuing to farm up. The Shadow Fiend did find his first core item. A lot of recovery farm has come his way, up to about 6,500 net worth, even with the Wraith King. And there's now a shiny mechanism in that inventory. And Wraith King's found some progression of his own. After that Drum of Endurance, he's gone back to pick up a Blade Mail. So now a lot more tanky, 13 armor. 1600 HP, and also level 11, so that ultimate on a much shorter cooldown of 160 seconds down from 260. As we see Vega rotate with a smoke, but VP, they've got the same idea. Good map sense here. They'll rotate behind their tier 1 tower. FNG has a track. Pasha comes around. Blank from Lil as the smokes get revealed here. This is an awkward angle to initiate from Vega. BKB used by Illidan as he goes on to No One. Pops the Rupture as well as the Blood Right. No One, he's already mech'd. He's dead. First kill of this fight, and it's Vega on the back foot. A disastrous rotation as they try to get cute wrapping around the tower. It just isolates the Shadow Fiend, and VP pull the trigger on a series of kills. 2-0. And not done yet. Quap up top. Trying to bait out Solo. He'll be successful as Lil comes in with some stolen spells here. Requiem gets channeled. They'll kill him. Now Tusk goes into the snowball, but they've got the fire to melt it. Mag with a walrus punch. Not enough to finish off Lil. It's a 4-0 as Virtus Pro just roll over the Vega Squadron. The only man with 2 lives left alive. Oh, Rubik! He dies to the Blade Mail. Lil regretting that last Arcane Bolt for sure. 1 for 4.
Still, though, very happy with that. Virtus Pro are going to be able to move in. They get this tier 1 tower takedown. Or will they? Double TP's coming out for some 9-patch. Leads it with a stun. Catches out Illidan here. Secondary teleport comes a little bit longer. No one going to get silenced up immediately. Plus the Fissure Block coming out. Not so easy for them to dive on in. Steven Slayer might have to use the Grave on himself. Will do so. Whoa, gee. Barely able to skate away from a couple of raises and alive. 9-patch actually walks right past him with a stun. Echo on the return. No one could be in trouble here. Phobos, in the meantime, big catch on FNG from Solo with the Skywrath Mage ult. But Phobos locked in the corner. Snowball's coming, not necessary. No one. Blood Right, dead. Going to be going down. Rupture's going to lock him in place for his immediate demise. Meanwhile, now Lil on the run here. Solo in pursuit. Going to catch with the concussive shot and the slow. Mag waiting to get in range. Snowball in 1 more second. Waiting for it. Got it. Rolling on forward. It's connection. It's a strike. Uppercut. Lil going to be in the air. Lil going to go down now. G coming in from behind. Looking to clean up Solo as a return support kill will get it. Mag, is he going to get chased here? G feels confident. No Sonic Wave yet. Doesn't want to follow up. 9-patch is nearby. Or does he? He's diving in. Now he's going to get chopped to the noggin and dead. Okay, buddy. Gee, I don't know what the hell you were thinking there, but he goes in and goes down. So, when everything is said and done.
Every fight, for the past few exchanges, I've looked at Virtus Pro and thought, you could have just taken a few kills and then backed out, and they just keep getting hyper-aggressive. And in a weird manner, it's like, okay, we've got one on the run, our Bloodseeker needs to retreat, our Rubik's dead, and that's when DK Phobos says, I've got an Echo Slam, let's go for the Shadow Fiend. He goes charging in, he gets stuck inside of the trees here, he dives deep, ends up getting a kill out of it, but then pays with his own life. Then they chase down this respawned Rubik, they kill him, and then G says, hey, wait a second, I've got an Orchid, I can kill somebody. Then he blinks aggressive and gets finished off. It's just these constant 1-for-1 pickoffs and these weird guerrilla warfare type skirmishes. And it still isn't really hurting Virtus Pro that much. That's the sad part. They're still able to take these really sloppy fights and still farm at least even or ahead of what Vega are doing. So this skirmishing is... I feel like it's okay for Vega, given that they're not losing too many objectives. Only tier 1 towers down for now, but they're not really gaining from this constant fighting either, even though they are getting some kills in the fray.
Rupture here. 9-patch does have his ult. Can reincarnate. Going to walk right off the Blood Right. Big toss comes out from FNG. They get the first killed out. Steven Slayer going to be forced to TP away from trouble. And nice blink away here from 9-patch. So Virtus Pro commit a little bit, but they're not going to get the follow-up kill they're looking for. So
basically a 9-second BKB from the Bloodseeker for a level 2 Wraith King ultimate. So, not the best trade, but it's something. Look how aggressive these wards are for the Dire, though.
Oh, yeah. Got one very deep into the enemy woods here. And obviously, they've had one on that high ground for quite a while, so actually that one's going to expire right now. But Virtus Pro, near the Roche side. Now, as far as a Roche lineup, it's okay. It's not the best. Illidan's got to be all the damage they could ask for here, but even with his Blood Rage, I don't think they're going to be able to chunk it down quite fast enough. I feel like Vega have the Supreme Roche lineup, and if they are to contest this, you know, I think they would be in a pretty good shape here. So they get started, they move in. Illidan actually doing some respectable amount of damage here, and it doesn't look like Vega have the idea. So Virtus.pro are going to be able to get away with the extra life.
Yeah, Vega, no vision, taking a look at what they see. They're pretty dark for most of the map. It's just a couple of observers in that mid lane, so they can't really tell if VP are just farming away in their jungle as they haven't cleared out any of those tier 1 towers yet, or if VP is actually in the roast pit. And there you go. Surprise, surprise. The text pops up with the bad news. G now has a second life, and he's also only 200 gold or so away from that BKB to follow up his Orchid. Very good timings there as VP will deny their tier 1 tower here in the mid lane. Also, Invis Rune in the bottle of this Queen of Pain. She also does have a Sonic Wave, so G could look to get aggressive here and try to find a pick off with that Orchid. Well, forget about the Invis. They'll smoke up instead. They hit some of the other purple, and now they start to rotate.
Tower is under attack.
Here they go.
Dire's
Mid lane
structures are
seems to be the
fortified.
target. Love to get no one if possible. Who's going to be leading in first? Planet Knobs. They're already bringing in recruits, though.
Great positioning from
They
Solo.
have an inkling. Yeah, they're like, they have an idea. The game
Dire's
senses
top
are
tower is
tingling
under
right now.
attack.
Bit too many
Dire's
Virtus Pro
top
missing from the
tower has
map.
fallen.
So hesitation here from Vega. Quickly looking to clear out this wave, but there's a committed jump. 9Pash catches out FNG with the stun. Going to get quickly lift up and throw back and away. Meanwhile, Shout Strike onto no one, slows him down. Fobo still going to get silenced, and they're going to lead on forward. They're going to go for the snowball. Meanwhile, Bloodright going on to no one as he pops his Recluse. Can they finish off Phobos in time? Scream flies. He is able to get the Echo off. It cleans out the two supports. 9Pash lone and alive here, does have his ultimate, will be able to come back, but G's able to clean up yet another, taking out Solo in the meantime. Can they finish up 9Pash here? He's pulled back. It looks like they will. A big fight for Virtus Pro ends up wiping out 4. Their only survivor in no one. And G wants to even let him know, don't even think about defending this tier 2. This is our tower, and now it's going to be our game.
That was such a weird way for that fight to start. It was VP who were the aggressors, smoked up. Skywrath Mage was a great play to hide on this side of the trees to break the smoke. Right away, VP knew our smoke's broken. They kind of hesitate, double back. This ward right here, the key vision for Vega to find that initiation. They open with a stun, and then it just instantly spreads out. You saw on one side, the Bloodseeker had totally isolated the Shadow Fiend, and then the rest of Vega were sort of trying to do as much damage as they could in this weird bottlenecked area. The spread out nature of that fight was such a huge boon to Virtus Pro, and what really sealed the deal was that Sonic Wave with the Echo Slam combo. They finally got the positioning they were looking for. I think the Sonic Wave hit on at least 3. I think the Echo hit on 2 or 3 heroes, all in that same vicinity, and then after that, the whole kit and caboodle went the way of Virtus Pro. Very nicely orchestrated, and you look at these graphs, it's looking dark for the Vega Squadron.
Dire's top tower is under
Virtus
attack.
Pro would love to put nail in the coffin, securing yet another tier 2. Puts
They still have 2 minutes on the
way
Aegis.
up and ahead. Yeah, they
Dire's
have
top tower
plenty
is
of
under
time on
attack.
their side if they want to slow play this or commit with this push. At first, a TP out, but then they cancel it. They're saying, hey, let's keep fighting forward here. Wraith King has another minute before his resurrection's going to be up. Maybe it's something we can go for, but nope. They're actually going to decide to pull back. Back to pressure on the mid lane from G, and top lane going to get farmed up here for Lil. So we'll take things a bit slow, but I don't think it's going to be for very long. I imagine Virtus Pro are still going to want to utilize that Aegis.
Yeah, definitely. And you're right, this does present a window of opportunity where the Aegis is still here and Wraith King doesn't have an ultimate, but there is no pressure on Virtus Pro right now. I mean, their late game is definitely solid. They've got some farming tools with the Midas, they've got track gold. They can kind of slow roll this or take kills if they want to, and they will try to go for the ladder. They find the Wraith King in the jungle. They'll jump on him on the other side. G going hard onto Mag. He'll hop into the snowball. That'll buy him a little bit of time. Still no kills coming out in this skirmish as Vega reset things a little bit, but that makes more time for FNG to track up targets. Tusk goes down. Now Phobos with an Echo on 2. Sets it up with a Fissure on 3. Sima forced to grave himself as 3 of his teammates die. He'll try to TP out, but it won't happen. The Dazzle gets skinned and cut to pieces. A 4-0 for Virtus Pro as once again they steamroll over the Vega Squadron. Now they look towards the high ground.
Radiant's middle tower
And this is already feeling like a desperation stop here for Vega. They have to go buyback. No one
Oh.
dead. Okay, quickest
That's a
buyback I've ever
dieback.
seen ever. Yeah, he just comes in and they make a committed jump. Virtus.pro knowing with their advantage in numbers. And Wraith King could be next. This could very well be the towel to throw in from Vega. 9-Pash gonna get dropped out for a minute. No buyback. This should be an easy Rax for Virtus.pro. Oh, potentially the game as well. I don't know what Vega are going to be looking to do here. There is 3 without their cores. They're moving in. Last attempt. Dish out the Skyrim Mage ult. Not going to do a lot of work. FNG still fine, and they're going to be able to bring down Mag with a big Sonic Wave. Triple kill for G, and that is game.
Oh my. What a way for that game to end for G. A beautiful Sonic Wave in Game 2. This one fits more with those 75-25 odds we talked about at the beginning of this series as we were loading in. Virtus.pro definitely the favorites here in Game 2, just looking very crisp with their execution. They dominated pretty much every stage of that game. The laning phase went well in their favor. They picked on the Tusk. They really picked on the Shadow Fiend. And then even though that Wraith King got early farm, they still pressured him pretty hard, and he just never really had the opportunity to fully come online, stretch those wings, and be the bully that we all know he can be.